Hey everyone, welcome to Definition Ale. I'm Stephen Rich and this is real beer, and this is definitely real beer. This is the Amsterdam Tempest Imperial Stout. The Tempest Imperial Stout is the brainchild of one of Amsterdam's very talented brewers, Ian McKoostra. This was first brewed in January 2011. I think one bar Volo might have got a keg of it. The rest of it was available only in bottles directly through the store. So Tempest Imperial Stout, it is a 9% Russian Imperial Stout. It's 102 IBUs, so 102 bitter units, which is very bitter. It fits into the American style of Russian Imperial Stouts, which are in the 8+% range, and also are very, very highly hopped. I don't know where the hop character is going to be in this beer, but it's certainly got the bitterness, or at least the statistic bitterness, to stand up to that. It's been brewed with 4 different varieties of hops and 7 different varieties of malts. 3 of those malts are toasted wheat, rye, and oats. All 3 of these different malts tend to lend big, thick, creamy characteristics to the beer. I love that. It's just my personal preference on Imperial Stouts or Stouts in general. I like a nice, thick, lush, creamy mouthfeel. So I'm really excited for this. It's got this nice, like, massively thick wax coating on top. And let's see if I can dig through this. Ian's told me that he's been able to do it himself in one quick turn, but I think he's better than I. And a miracle. She's open. Let's drink it. So far it is just pitch black. Head is nice and dark into that kind of mocha brown, dark like milk chocolate color. Ooh, getting really dense here too. Oh, now that is definitely a thing of beauty. Oh yeah, totally black, no light coming through this whatsoever. It is pitch black to eternity. Head is nice, really foamy and excited in there. Lots of tight little bubbles with a couple little big ones spread out in between. It's got a nice kind of creamy cap on top. Ooh, very sturdy, barely even moving as I shake it. It's kind of got that marshmallowy, gooey look to it. Really pretty, and it just looks fantastic in this glass. Ooh, nice nose. It's roasty, it's got little bits of chocolate and like sweet toffee already. Espresso grinds, like very classic Imperial Stout kind of characters already. Yeah, it's soft overall right now on the nose, but in general I'm getting that traditional like dark cocoa, getting a lot of like espresso types of characters. I'm getting a bit of a sweet kind of citrus character also in here, which could be all the hops. Yeah, very nice so far, but I'm digging right in. Oh yeah. Oh wow. There is so much more going on in this beer than the nose leads you to understand. The nose was actually relatively soft. I got all these chocolatey, kind of roasty characters, but they were kind of subdued. The palate, though, is huge. As expected and as hoped, the body's big. It's big, lush, creamy, smooth. Not thick, but it's a full-bodied bruiser of a beer. Exactly where I want an Imperial Stout to be. And it's dark chocolate, black licorice, really sticky, like heavy brown sugar, It's got sweetness all across here, and while it's hard to say if it feels like it's 100 bitter units because it's also very high in sweetness and in alcohol, the balance is perfect. It is sweet and it is big and it is filled with flavor, but at the same time it's not overpowering. Don't get me wrong, big, potent, beautiful Russian Imperial Stout, but there's enough bitterness on here, like it's going to be surprisingly easy to drink and exceptionally dangerous. I'm going to go back in and see what I can find here. Yeah, nice cocoa kind of flavors, like a really dark hot chocolate. I'm getting espresso beans, a dark coffee, that smooth kind of roast characteristic, but there's sweet black licorice coming around in the back end. I'm getting toffee and kind of caramel flavors up here, and there is hops. I can taste and feel the bitterness, especially at the end. It's coming across the back of my palate, and there is this kind of sweet herbal, almost citrusy sensation that feels like when it was fresh, it was probably more pronounced, but at the same time, is probably going to be more appropriate as this beer ages. The hops will come down, the bitterness will come down. It's hard to say exactly what will happen to the malt characteristic, but it'll probably become a more rounded and kind of warming sensation in the beer. Right now, it's very smooth and very delightful. At 9%, the booze is barely noticeable. It's got this kind of nice warming sensation that you would expect from a Russian Imperial Stout, but just excellently brewed. Oh yeah. Yeah, all those flavors are really delicious. Now I'm getting like kind of like a roasted marshmallow dipped in chocolate. That's the kind of sensation I'm getting. But again, it comes in with that licorice sensation and a good hopping right in the back end. Really excellent beer. Also should let you know that this is pretty close actually to room temperature. Took this out of the fridge almost an hour ago. I pulled it out and it was freezing cold. I knew I wanted this at a warmer temp. I left it out for nearly an hour. Maybe it's 15, 16 degrees right now. This is where you want something like this. All these flavors are really erupting into my palate now. If it was too cold, it probably would have felt more bitter than it really is, and you would have just gotten this cold roast sensation. So this is really where it should be right now. I'm going to look forward to trying this with food if I can ever convince myself to. I'll probably just enjoy these on their own because it's so far such a beaut. But I can see this being so fantastic with like super dark and rich chocolate desserts. Flavours chocolate cake, out of this world. Rich like cheesecakes, classic New York cheesecake, gonna be fantastic. But honestly, this beer stands alone by itself, and I'm certainly gonna enjoy it just like that. Cheers.